Hello again. Doing something a little different here by creating a broad video essay designed to defend, yes defend, the concept of filler in media. Thank you to my wonderful patrons for indulging me. Links below. So what is filler? Well, it's when a series, often an anime, but really any kind of media adaptation or series, creates content designed to fill time while they wait for the source material to catch up. It's not, in theory, meant to affect the overall story, and is an overall maligned thing, but I don't agree with that premise. It's not the idea that's bad, it's how it's used or misused that determines its quality. But first, a quick point about adaptation. A series being adapted faithfully is not an inherent ideal. It often is, but not always. Why? Because some things might have changed since the original creation. Some things might have been imperfect at the start, and most importantly, some things don't translate well from one medium to another. For example, I love Way of the House Husband, but I find the anime adaptation less entertaining than the manga because it's too faithful. The jokes were designed to land in static manga panel, not fluid animation, and as a result, the jokes lack some of the sharpness, and often end up dragging out or moving on too quickly. This is why it's called adaptation, not direct translation. You're meant to adapt the story for its new medium, and filler often ends up in this role as well. Our first style of filler fits this well, namely extension, i.e. where aspects of a story are drawn out for time. This is one of the most flayed versions of filler, and I can see why. There's a reason DBZ's 5 more minutes became one of the first internet memes. But Dragon Ball also gave us some great examples of how extension can aid a story. In the Red Ribbon arc, the Dragon team faces Barba's fighters to access her magical power, and in their third fight, Yamcha is up against an undead mummy. Now Yamcha in these days had some respect. He was the nominal leader who came up with the plans and generally a mature presence when Goku was around. It was him who figured out how Appa and Puar could defeat the vampire, and in his role as the Vegeta of his day, he also got to thrash the Invisible Man in a fight before this. In the manga, his fight with the mummy is humiliatingly short. He's slapped around a bit and gives up so Goku can show everyone how badass he is now, a format the series would continue to rely on until the heat death of the universe. The anime, though, extends this. Yamcha actually manages to get some good blows in. Using strategy, he's almost able to get one over his foe. Puar even jumps in to try and help him, and Yamcha fights until he's knocked out and almost dies. It makes him look much better overall, and made for a more engaging story. Similarly, in the 22nd Budokai, Goku and Tenshinhan's fight was more drawn out, which made it look more even-handed. We also got Tenshinhan allowing Goku to strike him several times to make up for Chaosu's psychic interference, which helps round out his arc more and helps the win feel more earned. In non-Dragon Ball examples, we can also compare the Sailor Moon manga with its original anime adaptation and their battles with the 4 Heavenly Kings. In the original anime, their fight with Jedi involves sneaking into an occupied airport, an epic duel/debate about sexism, and running him over with airplanes. That's way more interesting to me than "then her powers awoke and he died." The other type of filler is arc creation. This is seen across a lot of anime and takes many forms, and like others, it's often maligned. The general idea is to create a whole original story which is not going to impact the status quo of the series as a whole. Naruto and Bleach are especially critiqued for this, but I think it's more nuanced than that. Some good example of these arcs would be Dragon Ball showing us Goku and the others training for the 22nd and 23rd World Tournaments, as well as everyone's preparation for the Saiyans, as it lets us explore the characters, see their growth, and actually also see Piccolo develop his fondness for Gohan over it just being time skipped to. Hunter x Hunter 1999 had this with their handling of the Hunter exam arc. I always think fondly of the segment of the story where all the exam applicants are stranded on an old battleship and have to work together to get it working and escape a deadly superstorm. You see a bunch of interactions you'd otherwise not get, and the technical aspects of how they overcame their challenges were really interesting. Then again, I did enjoy 1999 more than the new 2011 version. Something about the grittier tone contrasting against the genuine emotional heart, I think. However, one could argue that these blur the line between extension and creation, so let's focus on some pure examples. Bleach has several of these original arcs, some interrupting stories already in motion for entirely separate events and then forcefully jamming everyone back in after the fact. These also at times just end up repeating plot points from previous arcs, like how Ichigo fought the Bounce leader. This is a bit of a shame, as I actually liked some of the filler arcs, or at least the ideas behind them, but the execution could often be messy. Examples that blur the line between good and bad can include some of Naruto's early filler arcs. They usually took place during the major time skip and involved the ninja kids going on ninja missions in mixed teams. The relative quality of these arcs could vary pretty wildly, especially as filler is often underfunded, but I still enjoyed the Land of the Sea arc, for example. Again, I might be biased as ninja kids doing ninja missions in a ninja world is what I actually find appealing about Naruto rather than its myth arcs. I could talk about Yu-Gi-Oh's Orichalcos arc, but that feels like it could be an episode unto itself. So instead, as a purely good example, we have One Piece's G8 arc. It's 11 episodes and follows Skypiea. It involves the crew landing in the middle of a heavily fortified marine base, needing to scatter and infiltrate and eventually escape. On its surface, this arc has the same issues as others, i.e. it's not going to affect the plot, so why should we care? Well, I ask in turn, why shouldn't we? If you like the world and the characters, why would you complain about getting to see more of it? Why is it a problem that we get to see the cast in new situations and face unique hurdles or challenges? Some of this, I think, harkens to people feeling that characters always need to be moving up or down power and growth trees, but static characters aren't bad, nor are characters being static for a period of time. Constant escalation is exhausting. And as I said, if you actually enjoy the characters and setting, getting to see them explored in a unique way should be fun, so long as it's well written, right? If you would like to help support these episodes and get early access to scripts, videos, stories and art, please hit up my Patreon. If you would like to commission 3D art, please swing by my coffee and we can chat. For now though, that's all. Thanks for stopping by.